Madam Chairman, Madam Rajavi, and all those who are online in this conference to celebrate the International Women's Day, let me start by saying Happy International Women's Day to all women, and especially Iranian women. The truly shocking video that we have just seen really demonstrates at first hand why this conference is so important today. We believe that throughout the world, discrimination exists against women and girls, and it's rampant. And in some countries like Iran, it is in fact getting worse. But we also know that equality for women is progress for all. In that context, the Iranian regime is creating more concern and worries for the world, while the Iranian resistance movement is making the world hopeful with its progress. The clerical regime has an appalling human rights record. It has continued to arbitrarily arrest social and political activists and has been using violent measures to extract false confessions from prisoners, later using them against them. The conditions of those who have been arrested during the uprising and protests, like the one in November 2019 and the recent one in Sistan Baluchistan, is outrageous. The regime has also continued torture and ill treatment of prisoners, particularly political prisoners and detained protesters, who also include women and young girls. In a shocking report, Trampling Humanity, published in September, Amnesty International revealed horrific accounts of torture and execution against the detained protesters of the 2019 uprising. Amnesty International has investigated the actions of the Iranian authorities against those arrested in connection with the protests and concluded that they committed widespread patterns of serious human rights violations, including arbitrary detention, enforced disappearance, torture, and other ill treatment, and also flagrant breaches of the right to a fair trial. And I urge everyone to read the report that has been done on this. The Iranian regime continued its use of medieval and inhumane punishments in 2020. In September, the regime's judiciary branch in Urmia, northwest Iran, sentenced 4 men to have 4 fingers amputated each. How dreadful. While the IRGC dominates Iran's economy and the regime plunders the national wealth, the regime's judiciary issues harsh sentences for petty crimes such as thievery. The Iranian regime's border forces continued the killing spree against deprived porters who must carry really cruelly heavy loads as the breadwinners of their families. This job is the direct result of the regime's institutionalized corruption and plundering of the national wealth. In other words, poor Iranian porters are under double pressure, poverty and oppression. So it is quite obvious that the clerical regime is at war with Iran's population, both inside and outside Iran. It extends its human rights violations to outside its own borders. One such dreadful case was the Villepinte case near Paris, which was planned to blow up a large gathering of the Iranian resistance. As suggested by the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the United Kingdom Parliament, we need a robust policy vis-a-vis the Iranian regime. The IRGC must be designated. It is time for the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights to set up a commission of inquiry for the 1988 massacre, as well as the carnage during the November 2019 uprising. we should also hold the Iranian authorities accountable for their crimes against humanity. So let us keep ourselves committed to taking these actions, which will definitely put us on the right side of the history. Madam Rajavi, in the end, let me once again express my full support for your wonderful efforts to bring democracy and human rights back into Iran.